All right, what is up, everybody? We are back in Dave's Sports Betting Corner. Dave's R&R with your host here, Dave. It is Thursday afternoon. We've got a Thursday night football game tonight. We've got Survivor picks, so we've got a nice little quick football show here for you. I'm going to start first with the Thursday night football, my best bet of the week, before I give you my pick, and we get Franco's pick as well for Survivor. The pick for the Thursday night football game between the Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. It just seems like almost as big of a lock as can be, which kind of scares me because anytime you feel so good about a bet, it's like, is it actually going to hit? I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win the race to 30 points. This is about minus 110, minus 112, depending on what book you're looking at. It's basically saying the Chiefs will get the 30 points before the Broncos do. If neither team gets the 30 points, the bet does not cash. And I don't see a way this doesn't hit for the Chiefs. If you look at the Broncos this season, besides the game against the Raiders, they've given up 35 to the Commanders, 70 to the Dolphins, 28 to the Bears, and 31 to the Jets. So it's like, how are the Chiefs not going to get their points? This defense is absolutely terrible. They're giving up almost 470 yards a game. You have the best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, coming into this one. Unless they bench him when it's like 21 to nothing, which why would they do that early in the game? This is pretty much as easy as it gets. The Chiefs are definitely going to hit their 30 points. They might even hit 40 in this one. But I'm taking the Chiefs to win the race to 30 at minus 110, 112, depending on what book you're looking at. Bet against the Broncos defense as much as possible because they are terrible. I'm just giving the one pick because we gave 3 last time, went 1 and 2. Besides that, we were doing 2. So averaging it out there kind of. The Chiefs to win that race to 30. And that's going to kind of parlay into the Survivor picks for the week. Me and Franco weren't able to link up today for the Survivor podcast that we usually do. Plans just change from time to time. But I've got his pick here for you. And the reason we're getting this podcast out today, usually it comes out on Friday. Franco is locking in the Kansas City Chiefs tonight as his Survivor pick for the week. And it's as good of a time to use them as anything. The Broncos are absolutely terrible. The Chiefs, this is a really, really good spot. I think it's a lock of a win. I think a lot of people are going to be using the Chiefs tonight. In whatever Survivor league you're in, I would guarantee you at least 50% of the league is going to use the Kansas City Chiefs in this spot. Taylor Swift's at that game, so everyone's going to have their eyes on it like usual. Look to do Travis Kelce anytime touchdown scorer props as well. I'm sure those will be out there. But I mean, the Chiefs, to win this game, they're 10.5-point favorites. It's as good of a spot to be. They're at home. It's prime time. That's a great pick by Franco. I've already used the Chiefs, or that would have been my pick as well. Franco is locking in the Kansas City Chiefs. As for my pick, I've been kind of going back and forth because, as you know, for the last 2 weeks, I've been saying, the Eagles, I'm probably going to use them against the Jets. It's an away game, yes, but after that, their schedule is really, really tough the rest of the season. Besides the last 3 weeks of the season, the only other possible spot to use them is at Washington, and it's a division rival on the road. That's 2 strikes right there. That's not really a spot I'd like to use them. So I thought this was a decent spot to use the Eagles, even though in its away game. But I've been kind of switching up my thought process. Just as of today, I was kind of like looking over the schedule, looking at spreads, and just thinking, maybe this isn't the spot to use the Eagles. Maybe that Commanders game won't be as terrible of a spot as I think. That's the only other real time. But there's a pick I like this week just a little bit more right now, and I've been coin flipping it. I will give out an update if my pick does change. But I'm feeling pretty confident about this pick. It's time. The last 3 weeks, I've used some pretty strong teams. I've used the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Dolphins the last 3 weeks. Yeah, I had an easy start to the season with the Commanders and Giants, teams you won't use down the line. But I feel like after 3 really strong teams, I've gotten a guy to use a team that really won't be used after this point. And that's going to be the Los Angeles Rams. They're at home. They're playing the Cardinals. Cooper Kupp is back. And it looks like there's plenty of passes, plenty of catches, plenty of touchdowns hopefully in this game. Stafford likes to spread the ball to both Kupp and Puka. If you have them both in fantasy, awesome. I really like the Rams in this spot. They lost last week to the Eagles and they only put up 14 against them. But I just think this is going to be a great game. The fans are going to be excited to see Cup. The Cardinals, they just lost James Conner, who was averaging about 5 yards, even a little more than that per rush. So now not only do they have their backup quarterback, they have their backup running back in this spot. So I just think this is a good time to use the Rams. You look at the Rams' schedule, you're not really going to use them again after this point in the season. They have some tough matches coming up, a lot of divisional games as well. Really, they're a team that you maybe might use at the end of the season. There's a couple games that they could possibly use then. But I don't want to be using the Rams down the stretch when I really possibly need wins, especially in a two-strike league. I kind of want to have some stronger teams at the end, and having the Eagles at the end might be a lot better of a spot. I'm going with the Rams this week. I'm switching it up after seeing Cup's return last week, looking as good as ever. I think the Rams locking in over the Cardinals, a mid-tier team to use in a week where a lot of people are going to be using the Chiefs. I'm sure a decent amount of people will be using the Eagles. Let's take the Rams here. It's a little bit of a risky pick, but why not at this point? And just to sum everything up here, we gave you my best bet for Thursday Night Football. That is the Chiefs to win the race to 30 points. Franco is locking in the Kansas City Chiefs tonight as his survivor pick. And on Sunday, I'm going with the Rams at that 425 spot. So hopefully all our picks win. Let's keep it continuing. Frank will be back on next week. Thank you for tuning in, Dave's R&R, Dave's Sports Betting Podcast. You can find us on all social media. It was a great season for the Orioles. I'm sure that's what we would shout out. I know they lost, but we exceeded expectations so much this year. I can't wait for next season. It was an awesome season. Just wish us best of luck with their picks, and as always, gamble responsibly.